Talk-A-Raptor, check it out! Your website is now 4 years old! Why, this calls for a celebration. I will. Alright, and now before I eat this cake, I need to write it off as a business expense. Now let's start out with losses. First of all, I have about $5 a month in hosting fees. Over 48 months, that's about $240. The domain name itself is about $10 a year, which is about $40 in 4 years. And finally, $10 for the cake, giving me total losses of $290. So how's that cake, Titus? Actually, it's a pie, not a cake. Still good though. And now to the profit side, I have 0 in salary, 0 in ad revenue, 0 in royalties, 0 in donations, and 0 in premium membership subscription sales. Really thought those would do better. This gives me total gross profits of $0 and net profits of -$290 over the 4-year period my site has existed. Anyway, that's a good starting point for my biennial review. You see, every 2 years I like to take a look back at my site, decide whether I want to make any changes, or if I want to continue at all. 2 years ago, the biggest decision I made during my biennial review was that I would add comments to the site. Let's see how those turned out. So far, I have 4,860 comments on 162 posts. That averages out to 30 comments a post. So far, the top commenter is, drumroll please, me, with 943 comments on my own site. If you exclude those, I'm averaging about 24 comments received per post. Excluding myself, the top 10 commenters are Digital Boy, LJ, Laguna Noir, Michael, A Day Without Me, Rakuen, Glow the Legend, New Geek Philosopher, Praz, and Loli Kitsune. A Day Without Me also shows up at number 12. Apparently, if you use different email addresses with the same name, it still gets counted separately. So, if you add up both of her names, she'd end up at the 2 spot behind Digital Boy. It's about time I developed an official comment policy. For starters, here's what I'm going to do with comment replies. So far, I've been responding to comments approximately as follows. If you leave me a comment the day I write a post, I'll probably get back to you the next day. If you leave me a comment on the second day, there's a good chance I'll get back to you that day, but I may get lazy and put it off. After that, there's really no set pattern I follow. I try to go for a second round of comment responses around the 5th day, and I also try to clean up a bit the day before I release my next post. After that, you're pretty much screwed. The policy I'm now adopting is that I will respond to every comment I receive until I release my next post. Guaranteed. Now, one problem I want to avoid as the site grows is being inaccessible to new readers. You see, over the past 4 years, especially over the past 2 years, I've had a lot of running jokes, regular features, etc., and I don't want to leave new readers in the dark about them. So because of that, I've started to make a glossary. It's still a work in progress, and I'll try to release it in about a month or 2. Another thing I definitely want to do is to trim down the blog roll on my main page. You see, it is way too long. When I started out with this blog roll 2 years ago, it only had 3 other blogs. Now it has over 100, and that is just killing the main page. So I'm going to take everything that's currently there, stick it on a separate blog roll page, and leave the main page for the 10 or 20 blogs I like the most. Your chances of making the main page blog roll are directly proportional to how much I like your blog and how much you suck up to me. Just letting you know in advance, no one bitches when they get kicked off. As far as the web design goes, I really like things the way they are now. So the only change I have made is making the HTML of the basic form of my website transitional valid, for whatever that's worth. And now for the part everyone's been waiting for, statistics. I've received about 155,000 hits over the past 2 years. My busiest day was 735, but that was almost a year ago. Clearly my website's been going downhill. But the monthly stats tell a different story. 2 years ago, I was under 3,000 hits a month. Currently,
it's over 9,000! What, 9,000? There's no way that can be right! Cut it! I think it's right.
In addition, my average daily stats are approaching 300. Now, if you don't have a website, these stats sound astronomical. But if you do have a website, you are currently wondering why it is more popular than mine. Well, for starters, my Google visibility is still horrendous. The only search terms that regularly get to my site are Baka Space Raptor, Baka-Raptor, and Talk-A-Raptor, one word. I can't even get hits from Pornography Talk-A-Raptor. Why are other bloggers getting that? Talk-A-Raptor BL goes somewhere else. It's almost as if you'll never find my website unless you know exactly how to get to it. Kinda like the Zodiac Spear from Final Fantasy XII. I kinda like the sound of that. Talk-A-Raptor.com is the Zodiac Spear of anime blogs. So, as you can see, even though I have gotten a lot more traffic over the past 2 years, I still got a long way to go. Now, I know some of you out there have been sucking up to me under the impression that my popularity would somehow drive a lot of traffic to your site. Well, sorry to break it to you, but you are way off. Just because I write a lot of awesome posts and get a lot of comments does not mean I get a lot of hits. Though I can't say I'm disrespected. AnimeBlips.com has me beating Danny Chu and Sankaku Complex when I update twice a week. You know this site's trustworthy because it has Shizuru in the background. So what if I don't get a lot of hits? Am I still satisfied with the way my posts are turning out? Well, seeing as how I have 108 half-written posts in my drafts folder, I'd better be satisfied with what I'm putting out. Think of it this way. Every time I release a post, I chose it over 108 other posts I was writing. And that should conclude my second biennial review. Since my website's now 4 years old, I figure it's now appropriate to celebrate with 4 days of unmoderated comments. And my cake. See you next time.